Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say. Mother, Mother, can you keep them in the dark for life? Can you hide them from a waiting world? Oh, Mother, Father, gonna take your daughter out tonight. Gonna show her my world. Oh, Mother, not about to see your light.
It's Privileged White Male Radio. I've been trying to do a podcast for quite some time now, and every time I try to upload one, it says network error, and I'm pretty sure it's because my trial has run out here on Spreaker, so I think I've only got about 10 minutes for each podcast now. I'm not sure. So I'm going to have to make this quick, which makes me second guess my intro music there with Evil Dave. I might have to get rid of that. But it's going to force me to be a little bit more focused, and that's good. I won't ramble on as much. All right, so everybody knows about the two shootings, the one in Baton Rouge, the one in Minneapolis, and now this morning waking up to the basic assassinations of 5 cops down in Dallas. We're on the brink of a race war. And I think it's time for a little bit of perspective. This is probably going to come out of left field and not be real popular, but this is what I think, so I'm just going to say it like I see it. Both of these instances of these two black guys being killed, the one in Baton Rouge, Alton Sterling, and the one in Minneapolis, Philando Castile, even if both of these were just outright executions, which they weren't. We've seen the videos. We know that there's a lot of gray area here. At the very minimum, a horribly tragic mistake by these officers. But even if both of these are just plain outright evil executions of these two black men, listening to the rhetoric and I understand the pain of the families, and believe me, I'm tired of hearing that over and over on the news. The pain and anguish of these families being exploited by our media is just it is just despicable. Really is. I just heard Diamond Phillips, the fiance of Philando Castile, who decided to live stream on Facebook as her fiance died. I still haven't heard that addressed yet, but that's a little bit strange. I want to be an internet star, so maybe I'll live stream while my fiance's dying. And again, I don't want to trash these people, but for Christ's sake, to listen to them talk about how they want justice. Well, there are tons of people who are murdered on a daily basis in this country, and they don't get justice the next day. They don't get answers the next day when there's an ongoing investigation, but yet these people are demanding dash cam videos and demanding all kinds of shit. I understand your pain, but just because it's a police officer involved shooting, it's supposed to be different than some other homicide? There's been I heard the lawyer for the Castile family talk about how there's been a homicide, but usually when there's a homicide, how come there's no arrest? How come there's no charges? Do you know how many homicides are filed in a day where there's no arrests or charges made? Because there is no one. Now, I understand they know who the person and who the shooter is. I get all of that. I understand the angst that's there. But to look at these as somehow above another murder, that they should somehow be held in some high regard to the countless other people who are murdered on a daily basis in this country, it just seems a little bit out there. And on that note, you want to know why black men are getting shot by police officers? Because there's a lot of black men out there who are just plain thugs. They're bad people, and they walk around with guns in their waistbands, and they brandish them, and they shoot people for cell phones. That's just a fact. You can watch it. You can watch documentary after documentary of people in this criminal lifestyle. Those people are not doing your cause any good. That's part of the reason why this is happening. Black Lives Matter people and you black leaders out there, I don't ever hear you address that part of this. I don't ever hear you address the violent nature of some people in your community, in your group. And it's the same thing on the side of the police officers. Blue Lives Matter. It's all divided. We've got some bad cops out there making some really horrifically bad decisions, and they're not making you guys look good either. But at the same time, because a couple of cops make a couple of really bad mistakes, does that mean all cops are bad and that 5 should be shot in the back in Dallas? No more than I can judge all black men by a few thugs, can I judge all police officers by a few apparently poorly trained cops who make some bad decisions. We're divided into groups in this country, and the division is continuing. And this one here is a big one. This is a big fissure. And unless somebody figures out how to get these groups together as Americans, as one whole group of people concerned about this problem on both sides, about all of these problems, we're not going to solve this problem. It's just going to be a complete and utter race war by the time this is all done. We need leadership. That's what's lacking here. We've got plenty of division. We've got plenty of rhetoric floating around. We've got a news media that loves to sensationalize and divide us. And that's all that's happening right now. There's no progress being made here. You talk about being progressive. This is regressive. What's happening in America today across the news channels in countries. I'm sorry, I'm trying to rush because I'm watching the goddamn clock. Got 4 minutes left before my 10 minutes is up, so I gotta hurry. Thanks, Spreaker. You want to pay? I don't want to pay. I'm not paying. Places like Dallas, Baton Rouge, and Minneapolis, we need leaders to emerge there to bring people together, not split us further apart. And we need leaders to emerge from these groups that can come out and give real solutions and give a real end game plan to how we fix this problem. Instead of just asking for justice and saying that this will be investigated and I want to know the name of the police officer. And it's just going to get worse. All right. That's my time. Thanks for listening.